So let's talk about something from William Walker Atkinson's classic thought vibration that is incredibly practical. We're going to break down his method for dealing with those nagging negative thoughts, not by fighting them, but by completely changing them into something useful.
But first, let's start with a question you've probably asked yourself. You know that feeling, you have a worry, and you tell yourself, just stop thinking about that. You try to force it out of your mind, and what happens? It almost always comes roaring back, even stronger than before. It's so frustrating. So why does that happen?
In this explainer, we're going to cover 3 things. First, we'll get into the worry paradox, why fighting negativity just doesn't work. Then, we'll unpack the art of transmutation, which is Atkinson's solution. And finally, we'll get really practical so you can actually start using this stuff today.
All right, so let's tackle the problem head-on, the worry paradox.
Here is the absolute core of the idea. When you actively fight a thought, think about what you're doing. You are pointing all of your mental energy directly at the thing you don't want. You're not starving it, you're feeding it. Your attention is literally its lifeblood. So the very act of trying to resist it is what gives it all its power.
Okay, so if fighting is out, what's the alternative? Well, this brings us to Atkinson's brilliant solution, a process he calls mental transmutation.
And this chart really lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got suppression. That's our usual go-to. It's all about direct conflict, right? But it forces your attention right onto the thing you don't want. And as a result, that negative thought just gets stronger. But look at the right side, replacement. This isn't about fighting at all. It's about consciously and deliberately growing its positive opposite. You shift your focus to what you actually want. And the negative thought, it just withers away because you've stopped feeding it.
So let's put a clear definition on this. Mental transmutation is simply the choice to replace a negative state with its positive opposite. You're not trying to erase the worry. You're just crowding it out by focusing so intensely on the quality you want instead. Maybe it's courage or peace or confidence. The original worry just fades into the background because its energy supply has been completely cut off.
You know, Atkinson has a great way of thinking about this. Imagine your mind is a piece of paper, and there's something negative written on it. Trying to suppress that thought is like just staring at the words, trying to will them away. It's impossible. Transmutation, on the other hand, is like taking a big, bold marker and writing a new, positive message right on top of the old one, until the old one is completely gone.
And this ties into another huge distinction, the difference between worry and desire. Think about it. Worry is totally negative. It's draining, it paralyzes you, and it accomplishes nothing. It just spins. But desire? Desire is the engine of change. It's positive, it's creative, and it's all about action. Desire is what gets you to actually do something. So the goal here is to transform that passive worry into an active desire.
You know, it all comes down to this one simple, powerful truth. Whatever you put your focus on, you give energy to. Your attention is the steering wheel. You can either point it at the problem, which is worry, or you can point it toward the solution, which is a really clear, focused desire for what you want instead.
Okay, this all sounds really good in theory, but how do we actually do it? Let's break down the practical steps.
Atkinson's method is basically a 4-step process. I like to call it the concentration switch. First, just notice the worry is there. Don't fight it, don't judge it, just acknowledge it. Second, consciously choose its positive opposite. So if you're feeling fear, the opposite is courage. If it's scarcity, the opposite is abundance. Third, and this is the most important part, intensely focus your mind on this new quality. Feel what it feels like. And fourth, start to act, even in small ways, as if you already have it.
Let's make this really concrete. Say you're at work. Instead of looping on, what if this project fails? You switch your focus entirely to, what are the exact steps I need to take to make this succeed? Or in a relationship, you can shift from a fear of being judged to a focused desire for a real, genuine connection. And with habits, you stop focusing on how hard it is to quit something and instead pour all that energy into feeling the freedom that comes with a new, healthy choice. See the switch?
All right, now it's your turn. I want you to get a chance to actually feel how this works for yourself, right now, with a super simple exercise.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. First, think of one specific recurring worry that you have. It doesn't have to be huge. Second, get really clear on the positive outcome you'd rather have. What is it you truly desire instead? Now, just for 1 minute, focus all of your attention on the feeling of already having that desire. What does it feel like in your body to have achieved it? that success, that confidence, that peace. Just sit with that feeling.
So, let's wrap this all up. What are the big takeaways? First, replace, don't resist negative thoughts. It's about changing the channel, not breaking the TV. Second, your job is to transmute that passive, stuck energy of worry into the active, creative energy of desire. And finally, never forget, your focused attention is your single greatest tool for change. You know, this whole idea of replacement is a foundation for so much more. In our next explainer, we're going to build on this and look at how to assert your life force. You can find the full Thought Vibration playlist in the description below. I hope this was helpful for you.